How's it going, Lackawanna students? Mr. Ristau here. So we ran into a issue. Instruction has been stopped for the next month. So what I intend to do is I intend to bring the instruction to you guys at home with the packet that we gave you guys on the last day of school before we let out. And what I want to do is go over a few problems every day so that you guys can follow along and we can complete the packet together. That would be the goal. I hope everyone's at home staying healthy and following all the precautions that they need to so that this virus doesn't spread or anything like that. But with no further ado, we're going to get into it. To all of my 7th grade students out there, please get the word out to Mr. Fisher and Mr. Koshin students so that they also know that this is available for them. I'm going to contact the parents of all of my students, and I'm going to leave it up to you guys to let your friends know that this is available, just because I think this is going to be helpful to all 7th grade students, not just my class. So, as we get into it, question number 1 says, what is the decimal equivalent of the fraction 8 over 15? Now, we know that 8 over 15 is what we call a ratio. And we know that in order to deal with a ratio, to get this ratio or this fraction into a decimal, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do some long division because we might not have calculators at home. So what we do is we take the denominator, we put it outside of the house, and we drop our numerator inside the house. And we're going to do some long division just like this. Now we have to ask ourselves, how many times can 15 go into 8? We know it can't. Put your decimal, bring it up, and we're going to add zeros. How many times can 15 go into 80? Well, we know that 15 times 5 is 75. So our 5 goes up. We are going to subtract 75 and get a remainder of 5. To continue, we must bring down another 0. 15 times 3 will give us 45. To continue, we bring down another 0, and we see we have a little pattern occurring. We're going to constantly get 50s, so in our answer, we're going to consistently get 3s. Now, this question is asking us, are we capable of getting from this answer to one of these choices? Now, the hardest part of this is knowing how to write a repeating decimal. In order to write a repeating decimal, guys, we need to know that the line goes over the number that is repeating only. It does not go over the whole decimal. So our answer is this 0.5 with the 3 repeating. So when I put my repeating bar down, the bar will only go over the 3. It does not go over the 5 and the 3. I'm not going to write the 3 over and over again and then stop somewhere, because we know that this bar means that that 3 is going to go on forever. So the only answer that fits is choice B. Give you guys a second, copy that down. In the meantime, I know that the video may be going in and out a little bit. I do apologize. We're doing the best we can here. Question number 2 says the circumference of a circle is 15 pi centimeters. What is the area of the circle in terms of pi? So we know that we're dealing with 2 different formulas here. We have our circumference and area. If you do not remember, the circumference formula for a circle is 2 pi r, and the area formula is pi r squared, with pi being a value of 3.14 and r being our radius. So they give us the circumference. They tell us the circumference is 15 pi. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that information that we know and we're going to plug it into our equation for circumference. And we're going to see that this is going to work out nicely. So our C, or our circumference, is going to become 15 pi. We're going to do that substitution. And the 2 pi r comes straight down. And since I want my r by itself to find my radius so I can plug it into my area, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divide by 2 pi on both sides. So we see that the 2 pi's cancel out on our right side, leaving us with just r. And on the left side, our pi symbols cancel each other out. So our answer is just 15 divided by 2, which is 7.5 or 7.5 or 7 5/10, however you wish to say it. So we use that circumference formula to find our radius. So now we just take that radius and we're going to substitute it in for our area to find the area of the circle in terms of pi. So area equals pi r squared. Area is going to be equal to pi, and our r we're going to plug in. So it's pi 7.5 squared. So your area is equal to pi times, we know that 7.5 squared is just 7.5 times 7.5, which comes out to be 56.25. And we can write that as 56.25 pi. And if we're talking about units, we were talking obviously centimeters, and area is always squared. I also should have labeled my centimeters here. Don't let me get away with doing that, guys. We know that the units are very important. Sometimes it'll cost us a point. If I hold you to that standard, you guys better hold me to that standard. So choice C would be the answer for number 2. Question number 3, you really have to take a break, look at it, think about it, reread it a few times. I myself had to take a few looks at this one in order to be able to choose the right answer. So for number 3, it says, Bob buys eggs and potatoes at a store. He pays a total of $25.92. He pays $2.57 for the eggs, and he buys 5 bags of potatoes that each cost the same amount. We are going to write an equation that can be used to determine the cost, x, of each bag of potatoes. So let's think about this reasonably. Let's think about this as if we were at a grocery store buying this stuff, okay? We know that our total money spent, the total cost of our entire bill, is $25.92. And we know that those eggs cost $2.57. We're not concerned with the eggs, though. We're concerned with the price of these bags of potatoes, right? That being said, if I want to figure out how much money we spent on the potatoes, and I know the total, and I know the price of the eggs, I can use subtraction to figure out what my price of my bag of potatoes are. That would be the total amount of money that we spent on potatoes. So if we went through and did the subtraction, that would be how much we spent on potatoes. But that would give us the total price we spent. We're not looking for that. We're looking for the price of each or per bag of potatoes. So if I know what we spent on potatoes, which would be that $23.35, hopefully I did that math correctly in my head, I would have to divide that by the number of bags that I bought. If we look up here, he bought 5 bags. So in order to figure out how much each bag is, I have to take the total price and divide by 5. Now all we have to do is take a look over at our choices. Do we see an answer that matches the equation that we came up with? And it happens quite quickly. We see that the first choice, choice A, mirrors our answer perfectly. So the answer for question number 3 is choice A. We're going to flip the page, guys. We're going to go on to question number 4. I love question number 4. Now, we have done problems like this before, but this has a probability feel to it. I know we didn't get into probability yet. We were going to do that in these coming weeks. That being said, we're not scared about it. We know how to set up ratios. We know how to solve and simplify. Let's get it. It says a spinner is divided into 4 colored sections of equal size. So you can draw it if you want. One section's red, one section's blue, one section's purple, one section's orange. The arrow is going to be spun several times. The arrow on the spinner will be spun one more time. Based on these results, what is the probability that the arrow will land on the purple section? Well, we can see from the spinner that we drew that the probability or the chances of us spinning this and landing on P in general would be 1 out of 4. Because one section out of these 4 represents purple. And they're all even size. So one section out of the 4 would give us a purple. But that's not what they're asking us, guys. They're asking us based on these results. So what we have to do is we have to set up a ratio. The ratio is going to be the purple spins over the total spins. So take a second here, guys, and add up all these numbers. Just take a second. 15 plus 24 plus 12 plus 9. Add them up, and we're going to get our total. We see that purple is 12. And very good, when you add them up, you do get 60. 60 total spins. So our denominator is going to be 60. So we have our fraction, or our ratio, of 12 over 60. What we want to do is we want to find a way to simplify this. So we want to figure out what number can go into 12 and 60 evenly. Yes, 2 works. Yes, 3 works. Yes, 4 works. Yes, 6 works. But we can go as high as dividing our numerator and denominator both by 12. 12 divided by 12 is 1. 60 divided by 12 is 5. And our final answer is 1/5, or 20% chance. When we match it with our answers, choice B is 1 over 5. So our answer for this one is, in fact, choice B. The last one we're going to do today, guys, together is going to be question number 5. We'll leave off on question number 5. We'll start the next page during the next video. Question number 5 shows us a table, and they are asking us, what is the mean? Mean, we're going to have to talk about that. Lowest temperature in degrees Fahrenheit. Take a look at the answers. They're all in degrees Celsius. Let's not pay attention to that. We're going to act like these are all degrees Fahrenheit. We don't have to do any weird conversions. Let's just leave it like this. Excuse me. So, mean. We should know another word for mean. And that word is the average. Average. Just like your school average. When we try to find out our average, what we do is we add up all of our grades and we divide by however many classes we're taking or how many grades we had, and that gives us our average. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to take our 1, 2, 3, 4, our 5 numbers. We're going to add them all up, find the sum, and then we are going to divide by 5. And that's going to give us our mean, or our average. So we need to do negative 36 minus 25 plus 12 minus 3 plus 18. And lucky for you guys, I already went through and did this. If you have a calculator, you can type it in now. If you don't have a calculator, the result of that addition is negative 34. So we are going to take our total, that negative 34, and just divide it by 5. And when you take negative 34 divided by 5, you get an answer of negative 6.8 degrees Fahrenheit, which is a perfect match to choice B. So, ladies and gentlemen, we just completed our first day of online instruction. I hope this helps. I don't know if any of these problems would have been ones that we got stuck on, but I'm going to go through the entire packet. No matter how easy, how hard the questions may be, we're going to get through this together. I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these videos and follow along and complete the work to the best of your ability. I know that something like this has never happened before where you've been out of school, but I would like to applaud you guys for putting in the time and effort and really tackling this head on. I'm going to make this interesting for you guys. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, similar to some of the events that we've done in school with Miss Maz, I'm going to give you guys options or ways in which you can earn tickets, and I'm going to keep track of who does this. And what's going to happen is I will pick tickets and you guys will win prizes. The top prize will be a $30 gift certificate to Bella. And then there's going to be a few Tim Hortons gift cards, stuff like that. Just ways to keep you guys motivated through all this. The way that you can get a ticket to enter this draft or this lottery or however you want to say it, every day at the end of our program, I am going to throw up a problem. It's going to be one problem. And what I want you to do is I want you to solve that problem on a separate sheet of paper. And if you bring that sheet of paper to me on the day that we all return to school, and you have the problem correctly answered, I will give you a ticket with your name on it, and then it'll go into the bin. And at the end, I will mix everything up, select my winners, and if your name's chosen, you'll get one of the prizes. The more of these problems that you do, the better your chances to be chosen. Today's problem: solve the equation for x. 3x minus 4 equals 4 times x plus 2. Take your time, go through it. Only correct answers get you credit. Thank you again, guys. Mr. Ristau, signing off.